you have a song on Drunk with two absolute goats for me, Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald. Did you get together with both of them? Was everybody together? Like, just take me a little bit through the experience. And what were they like? I'm curious about what they're like because I only have one story about Kenny Loggins from anyone, and it wasn't the greatest story. It was a mixed bag story, but I'm curious for your Kenny Loggins, Michael McDonald story.
We were definitely all together doing that, and I'll send you a picture once we, But yeah, it's like that again, hands down, one of the coolest moments in my life, and it was like my piano player Dennis Ham, he had he had been he had been playing with his son or something like that. And so, I mean, I would always be belting Kenny Loggins. I would just be belting lyrics and like, on the tour bus, I'd be like, going turbo, and they'd be like, I unironically like Kenny Loggins. You know what I mean? Like,
By the way, me too. And I don't. It actually took me a while to realize that for other people, it felt ironic.
yeah, because even with the whole idea of, like, I love every aspect of how people, like, again, when you're big enough for somebody to make fun of you, like, as we're speaking even about Drake now, it's like, if you're big enough it's like, that is the proof that you're huge. When you get made fun of,
Yes.
you're big. So,
Everyone knows you. Everyone has an idea of you.
yeah, I'm like this. I hope it's not hitting too hard because I'm like this. You got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Right.
You always have to, right? So that being a thing, it's like the unironic, like, like even when it comes to yacht rock, and it's like, oh, this is like yacht rock music, and it was like, oh, okay, well that means that what is this music that rich guys that would do a lot of cocaine and hang out on boats with a bunch of chicks?
That's why I hate that. That's why I hate yacht rock.
Yeah, it's like it's such a weird way a box to put it in for it to like sit over here. And I go like,
it's all wrong. Even Blue Eyed Soul is. I like Blue Eyed Soul more than Yacht Rock, but the only reason I don't like that is that there's black artists that I would put in the same category, and then that doesn't make sense. So it's really just a certain like.
It's a weird. It's
soul, really.
It's a box to sell it. It's like,
it's just the best box to sell it. Okay.
But I go like this, like, I mean, like, again, I always talk about this song, but Heart to Heart is like life. Heart to Heart is like the story of life. You know what I mean?
I mean,
And,
bro.
it's like, and when it hits home, right? Because like when you get there, when you get there, you're like, oh man, this guy was singing about life, and I don't know.
Let me tell you, that man. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That man hit my. I have lived in my life. What a Fool Believes. I've lived that moment, and it's sad. And you can look back at yourself and go, "Oh man." As he rises to his apology, oh man, this isn't working out for you. I've lived that. I've lived Heart to Heart. I lived not getting to have the Heart to Heart. I thought I was hoping for the heart. Never happened. I've been there.
Yeah.
Then there's This Is It. It's right there. And then my sleeper gem, I don't know if you're a fan, my sleeper gem that I truly lived, and I love it so much because it ended up, to me, it represents my meeting of my wife, is the song Wait a Little While, produced by Bob James.
Good Lord.
Do you know that joint?
Of course I do.
Oh, that song right there. Wait a little while, basically saying stop being thirsty and wait for the moment, chill out, you'll meet the person. No, Kenny sings about life. So back to you. You were saying Heart to Heart. Yeah, that's that soul music right there.
Look, I just go. Is that on the one with him? That's on the one with him with the light thing?
The Jesus cover. Yep.
So I'm just like this. Huge Kenny, huge Mike fan. It's like, it's, even if it came, and again, naturally, of course, it came about through listening to Warren G. Of course, the ways it comes, But like, again, for me, it goes further because I'm clearly one of those kids that would be like, knowing that the pops would have these records and all these kinds of all the above. So my piano player was like, hey man, I mean, maybe, I don't know, I'll reach out. He was like, man, I don't know, see if I can get you guys in contact. And I was like, I remember my eyes got big. I was like, Dennis. I was like, what are you saying? And I'm always like, me and Dennis are always in some kind of way, So I was looking at him like, what are you saying to me right now, Dennis? What are you saying? I was like, and He's like, "Nah, let me just see. Let me just kind of, dig around and see if how if he'd be up to it, because it'd probably be a good. It could be something cool." And um, Kenny's son reaches out to me, and I think at first I think they wanted to kind of like, and it was, I'm kind of, it's like I'm probably remembering it wrong, but it was kind of like we talked a little bit, and he's kind of, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And so and then Kenny hits me, and he's like, "You're serious right now. You're not being funny." And I was like, "No, I'm not being funny at all, man." Like I was like, "You want me to cut myself? Or you want to see me sacrifice myself?" I was like,
I know what.
I was
Wow,
like,
that's interesting. But he thought there was a chance you were being funny.
mm-hmm.
That is so interesting.
And I'll tell you another one of the ones for me. I believe in love is like I just wanted to throw that in there too. I believe in love is on another level. But okay, so um man. And so the day that me and Kenny met, I drove out to him, and it was kind of like, what do you think we're about to do? And I was like this. I don't know. I'm gonna steal one of your shoes. I'm gonna take one of your shoes. I'm taking something. I'm taking a strand of hair. I'm gonna go. It doesn't matter. I'm taking one of your USB cables and be like, this is a USB cable. I'm gonna make some music with this. I was like, I don't know, but I was like, whatever it is, I'm 100% here for it. And he's sitting there and he's like, man, because of like the way I'm writing, it's like it's familiar to him. He's like, man, it feels like you would want to hang out with Mike too. And I was like, at first, I think he's like, in his mind, again, he's like, yeah, you know what I mean. And I'm like, Mike, I was like, I'm down to meet whoever you say is,
Yeah. Oh, you got a friend, Mike. You're just like, yeah. So you got a guy, Mike. I should meet.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Should meet Mike. Sure.
something. I was like, somebody he writes with, and he's like, Mike. And I'm like, he's like, I'll call him and see if because I guess he lived close. And so he's like, hey, he's talking about Michael McDonald, bro. I almost like slapped him.
When did you realize he was talking about Michael McDonald?
Like maybe 10 minutes into getting off the phone with Mike and saying he's on his way.
And then
And
Michael McDonald just comes through.
yeah. When I show you this photo, you're going to laugh.
Yo,
My,
yo.
my friend caught the moment that they both decided to link up, and like, and I'm here with I'm a little chubbier, but I'm like here, I got my Thundercat sweater on. I'm like this. I'm I'm about to pee on myself, but I'm chilling. I'm like this, play it cool. I'm like this, and I'll show you those photos, man. And no lie, it just was like they walked in the room, man, and it was like it's kind of like I imagine it to be like I have my friends that are like this now, but like I mean, it's I don't I because you spend so much time with somebody, you even when you're not with them, it's kind of like oh I have you're not thinking about the time lost or time, you just are those friends that are timeless a bit.
Mhm.
Like they're sitting there and they're going back and forth. I kid you not, man, they're going back and forth, and they're like, "When's the last time we hung out like this, man?" No lie. They're like, he's like, I think it was around What a Fool Believes. And I was sitting here like this. I was like this. The heart started beating real fast. I was like this. You guys haven't written like this since What a Fool Believes? I was like, I was like, and there were two people there to see it. There's my friend Glenn, and I think it was Adam or Dom. And I was like this. I think we're witnessing they're getting back together to write this with me. And I was sitting there like this. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was like, psychologically for me, I was like, I don't know what part of life this is, but I remember being like, like when you have an innate sense of danger, where you're like, I'm in danger. I was like this. I don't know what's happening right now, but I was like, this has got to be one of the greatest moments in my life. I was like, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this, I was like, I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what happened before, but I was like, this moment is one of the greatest moments in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, straight up. I was like, I can't believe what's happening right now.
So they were still cool, but they just hadn't done this in
In
4
years.
years.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm to this. It's still like that song. And I couldn't. I'm. That's one of my. I do love that song a lot. And so that's the story of that song. It's like it really happened like that, and then it was an intense moment in life.
That's so good. Oh, wow, that's so good.